We're gonna get right into our workout. Your legs might feel a little shaky, like mine do. That's a good sign. It means you're working hard.
Doesn't matter your training experience. You want to be able to have high quality workouts that push you towards your goals in the least amount of time.
Exclusively on Bodybuilding.com, all access.
What's up, everybody? Tyler Holt. I'm here at the wonderful Bodybuilding.com headquarters, and we're gonna hit a live shoulder workout for you guys today. I'm gonna be here filming some awesome content for you guys, some workouts for you guys to follow in the near future. A little bit different type of workouts. And today's shoulder workout's a little different as well. So we're gonna tackle everything from heavyweight, low reps to lightweight, high reps, drop sets, supersets, a Triset on this first one with all bands. So there's a lot of different stuff I'm gonna be throwing at you guys. So follow along, ask your questions if you have any, and we're gonna get right to it. I already got my warm up in, so I'm ready to hop right into the set. So let's get it started. This first Triset is all band resisted. So a little bit different. So if you guys have just a regular band at your gym with the handles, that's perfect. And those are just gonna loop around your wrists, and it's gonna stay on your wrists the entire time, okay? So this first Triset is an Arnold Pres, and then a side raise, and then a rear Delt Fly. So I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna do this. If I can get unstuck, all right. Drop a little bit lighter weight for the side raises. Drop the dumbbell straight into just a regular rear delt banded fly. Ooh, man. 10 apiece on those.
Hey, Tyler, we have our first question from YouTube. Dylan asks, what workout would you say is best for getting your shoulders to look wider?
To look wider, if you want wider shoulders, definitely focus more on the lateral part of the delt, so side raises like we were doing there, anything out to the side. A lot of people seem to neglect their rear delts as well. If you're looking at the shoulder, rear delts give your shoulder a very rounded, three-dimensional kind of look. So you can have big side delts, but you also need to focus on the rear delts as well to give that roundness, which will make your shoulders look even wider.
Our second question is, how and when do you want to train your rotator cuff muscles?
That's an awesome question. How and when? Typically, if I'm going to, I start with warming up my shoulders with some rotator work. Really, there's any time to train your rotators is a great time. A very underworked part of the muscle that a lot of people end up having issues with, so really stay on top of that. I had a shoulder surgery back in 2013. And so since then, I've definitely done a lot of focus on specifically exterior rotation. And so even stuff like this, right, the Arnold Pres with the band helps create tension to the external rotation, so those muscles are actually being worked. If you're doing an Arnold Pres with no band and just opening up here, totally different than adding the band, which creates a tension to actually work those smaller rotator muscles. All right, round two, shoulders are already on fire. Okay.
Working with bands, a question from Facebook from John. He says, I love the form on the side raise and never thought about hooking up the stretch band to the dumbbell. How did you get it set up?
So basically what I have here, I just have a dumbbell in front of the bench so that when the band pulls, the dumbbell runs into the bench, so it's not going to move on you. And then I just have the band wrapped around. It's an 85-pound dumbbell. Anything heavy or anything anchored that you can loop it around that's the easiest way just to get that set up.
What is the benefit of using bands?
I love the resistance that the bands add. It's a very different, every kind of resistance is different, right? You have your free weight dumbbells, cable machines, and bands. What I like about bands is that the more tension you create, the harder it actually pulls. So, adding in the band for something as simple as a side raise or an Arnold press just creates a totally different dimension to the actual exercise itself. I'm only using 20 pounds for an Arnold press with the band, where if I were to be doing an Arnold press with no bands, I'd probably be using 60, 70 pounds. So it totally, and I'm only doing 10 reps. So it completely changes everything. But it's a nice different pace to get a really good burn and really work some of the muscles a little bit differently without having to go super heavy on the shoulder joint and anything like that.
Gilbert on YouTube asks, should you focus shoulders on a single workout or mix it in with another body part?
Totally up to you. Personally, I always do shoulders on their own day just because there's a lot of different things that you can work on in the shoulder to isolate the different heads of the shoulder. And it depends if you're really wanting to put size onto your shoulder or create more definition or detail, then I would definitely do shoulders on its own day. But while you're doing things like on chest day, you do get some front delt work. On back day, you do get some rear delt work. So shoulders is one of those things that kind of gets touched on throughout the week as well. So if you want to add that into another workout, it totally works too. All right. Last set of these. Oh, maybe. Ooh. Well, that's all I got. It doesn't take much on these guys. That's why I like these. It really doesn't take too much, but it hurts. Ooh, man. I got nothing left on them. Nothing left.
You mentioned going light. Is it better to do lightweight high reps or heavyweight low reps?
I wouldn't say one is necessarily better than the other. I think adding in both is a good idea. So the next part of this workout, you'll see some things I'm going. Basically throughout this workout, we're doing heavy and volume, kind of creating an overall. If you really want to break down the muscle fibers, then we go a little bit heavy, and then to stretch out and pump a bunch of blood into the muscle itself, then we do the high reps to pump the blood in there. So a good mix of both is equally important. They also both touch on different muscle fibers. So if you want really developed shoulders, you need to hit every kind of muscle fiber. So adding in heavy and light is definitely important.
What is the best workout for getting bigger shoulders? Is it with or without weights?
To get bigger shoulders, I would say with weights for sure, because you need to add in that outside factor to break down the muscles to get them to be able to grow and recover. There's really not a ton of exercises I can think off the top of my head to work the shoulders. So if you're really looking to develop the shoulders too, you know, you got to hit them from different angles. And I don't really know of much body weight stuff or things to do without weight that will tackle those like that.
Is it okay to start without weight and move up?
Yes, absolutely. Start without weight and just work your way up. You always obviously want to get your shoulders warmed up. In particular with the shoulders, do not jump straight into heavy weight. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with the shoulders. So form, proper warm up, and good activation is really, really important with shoulders. So definitely, start with whatever's, if that means no weight, fine, and then work your way up, or lightweight, kind of like I did, to get a warm up and then jump into that. It's perfect. So, okay, next one we're gonna go into, now we're gonna add in a little bit of heavy weight. So we're gonna do a power upright row and then a dumbbell upright row. So same kind of movement, totally different sets. The power upright row, we're gonna do a heavy 6, and then we're gonna go into a dumbbell upright row for 20. So we're gonna keep, on upright row, we wanna keep hands wide. Try not to go hands close. That creates a lot of impingements for a lot of people. So I always prefer to go hands out wide, outside of width or hip width, and then lift with the elbows. We're gonna bring the bar to about the bottom of the chest. The difference between a regular upright row and a power upright row is simply a change in mechanics, and we're gonna give a little power through the hips, similar to how we would with a power clean or something like that. Raise the bar up, good squeeze, good control back down. There's a difference between doing power and just having sloppy form. So we still want control. We're just gonna use our hips to give us a little boost to get some heavier weight in there. There, I'm gonna grab the dumbbells. Same concept, we're still staying wide and lifting with the elbows. We don't want our wrists to break and come up even with our elbows. Wrists always stay below the elbows. We're staying wide, and then we're doing high rep here. Pumping blood into it, getting a burn.
The ideal rest period between your sets?
I like on these supersets and trisets, I like to go a minute and a half, just to let the muscles recover properly, have enough energy for the next set, especially when we're doing some heavier stuff like this. We do want your muscles to allow that ATP to recover so that you can lift heavy again.
What split do you recommend for a beginner?
For a beginner, depends on how often. I would definitely recommend maybe a 4-day split, and you can pair up chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs, and then shoulders on the 4th day. You can throw core in there wherever you want, but I think to start 4 days is good. Test how you're doing, make sure you can stick with it, and then you can split things up further from there.
What is the best exercise for your rear delts to make them pop and become more round?
Rear delts. I really like just rear delt cable flies, which we'll get to at the end of this workout. Rear delt cable flies are my favorite personally. I get a really good activation with those. The cables creates a really good pull. Anything, bent over dumbbell flies are awesome as well. All right, we got 2 more rounds of this. keeping wrists wide. Focus on lifting with the elbows. I forgot what number I'm on. I think that's 10.
All right, trying to lighten the mood here. Can you explain your sick tattoos?
That's a lot of explanation to do. Basically, I got my favorite ones right here. It says Batman and Joker. I've got 2 wolves right here, one representing the good and bad in every person. This is Atlas, which is the god that holds the world over his head. Got a tiger in here. The explanation on them, it's a little long for this video, but send me a message. I'll be happy to explain it to you.
What is your Instagram handle?
My Instagram is at tholt21, THOLT 21. Go follow me. I put a ton of content on there.
I keep noticing you taking a drink out of your bottle. What are you drinking? BCAAs?
And here I have, so I've got, yes, BCAAs, MusclePharm's 321 branched chain amino acids, and then I also have MusclePharm's creatine monohydrate, just 5 grams of creatine in there. That's what I sip on during each workout, is branched chains and creatine.
What's the benefit of creatine?
So creatine, basically, it's in any kind of physical activity. Creatine helps your muscles regenerate ATP, which is what your muscles use for energy during an exercise, and then so creatine helps regenerate that, keep your muscles hydrated as well.
Is it best to take that pre or intra workout?
I like intra workout. I would say either way, you're good. I like intra because your body, while you're working out, is really good at absorbing things quickly. So I think as you are going through the workout, it's more beneficial to have something continuously fueling those throughout. Okay, one more. Ooh. Here we go. Ooh, man.
A question from YouTube is, how many grams of protein should I look to take after a workout, and is the metabolic window real?
I think how much you're taking kind of depends on your body weight and also your goals. Personally, I do 50 grams post-workout. So I would say anywhere between that 25 and 50 gram range would be ideal, just depending on your size and what you're looking to do. But anywhere in that range is good. Metabolic window, obviously after a workout, it's important to refuel the body. Just because your body has used up a ton of energy, depleted some glycogen storage, and it's important to recover all that. But as far as your window goes, I personally don't think that if you don't get something in within 30 minutes, all of a sudden everything is all lost. It's not like your body's suddenly not going to need what you're going to intake from it. So as far as an opportune window, I would just say as soon as possible, just because you did just put your body through a workout.
In your opinion, what is the best protein powder post-workout?
There's tons of great ones. I use MusclePharm's Combat Protein, which is a blend of protein. So you get an isolate, a whey, and a casein, so they digest at separate times. So you get some that hits you right away and some that digests a little slower. And so it lasts a little bit longer in your system. There's tons of different brands out there. That's what I use, that's what I like. That's what I would recommend. But
Is Combat Crunch sold on Bodybuilding.com?
yes, it is. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so next one, what do I need? These guys. So another superset, we're gonna focus on the lateral delts on this one. So side delts, making your shoulders wider. And these are side raises, so we're gonna do a heavy 8. And then we're gonna go into an isolated side raise. I don't really have a good name for these. Basically what we're gonna do is you're gonna hold both dumbbells out here and you're gonna alternate 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 till you get 15 on each side. We'll start here. We'll go heavy 8. There's only 10s on these. I might have to go down. We don't know. Am I? Tell them they're more than welcome to come do this with me. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's hard to hold those up at the end.
So we have a couple of dieting questions. In your opinion, when you're cutting, is it important to cut your carbs first?
I would say typically with myself and with my clients, carbs are typically the first thing that I do cut. Protein, I don't really cut ever. Everything I manipulate is fats or carbs. So if your carbs are high, then and you're trying to cut, then I would definitely start by cutting your carbs back a little bit. And gradual, don't do anything drastic. You know, if you're eating 200 grams of carbs a day, start by cutting back to 175. There's never a reason to just go from 200 down to like 50. Little steps do a lot.
Somebody doesn't think you're actually live. Can you shout out Tyler?
Shout out Tyler. What's up, Tyler? I'm Tyler. Nice to meet you.
You got a set of twins. Do you ever take a break from lifting? Is it important to deload? I lift year round. I really don't ever. I take 2 days off a week, so I lift Monday through Friday, and Saturday, Sunday I always take off. So I do always make sure that I am getting rest in during the week. I've never been a lift 7 days a week kind of guy. I do think rest is very important. Deloading, I don't necessarily deload. I do like deloads and what they are, but basically how my weeks cycle, you know, typically I have a heavier week and then a moderate week and then a really high volume week, and then I'm back to heavy. So I kind of deload as it progresses, I guess. Before I set up my workouts that way, I definitely would take time to deload. Very important to let the muscles recover, let your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, all that recover, especially if you are someone who's lifting heavy a lot of the time. Definitely take the deload week to let your body recover. For the side laterals, do you engage from the front or the lateral?
From the lateral. So when you're doing a side raise,
I tell people pretend like you're only lifting from your elbow. When people do side raises, a lot of times they'll come up and their wrist will go above their elbow. You want to try to avoid that because it takes away from your lateral delt actually doing the movement. So lift, try to just imagine you're only lifting from your elbow. Wherever this weight is at in your hand, even if it's here or if it's all the way out here, if you're focusing on that elbow and your lateral delt doing that work, wherever this dumbbell isn't going to make a difference.
We didn't get to see you warm up, but how important is mobility work, and what are your best shoulder warm-ups?
So important. Awesome question. I, for the longest time when I was trying to put size on, completely disregarded mobility work and flexibility, and it bit me in the butt hardcore, to where I've even as of late, I've had to double up on my mobility work and really put an emphasis on that throughout the week. But so for my warm-up for shoulders, today I just had light dumbbells. I do 10 to the side, 10 to the front, 10 rear, 10 overhead, and then I go through that 3 times. But range of motion and mobility work on the shoulders is really good. If you have a broomstick, you can do where you grab the broomstick here, bring it up over and behind you. I can barely even do that right now. But over and behind you and really get that range of motion going. Really work on, and another thing I do is I'll lay flat on the ground on my stomach with the broomstick, and I'll try to lift with my head down. I'll try to just lift the bar up off the ground without engaging the upper traps. So you're really trying to focus on your rear delts doing the work and those exteriors, open it up this way. If you want to do exterior, grab a cable or a band and open up and do exterior rotator work. Most people don't need to do interior work unless you've had something specific going on, but so exterior rotator work is another great way to warm up. Okay, I'm stalling. Last set on these. Ooh, man. I don't know if we consider that being held up on that last one, but I tried.
So we have a pre-workout question. What is your favorite pre-workout, and what ingredients should I look for?
Good question. I use Wreckage. I use Wreckage by MusclePharm. And MusclePharm also has another one called Vaso Sport. And there's a difference between the two. Ingredients you can look for kind of depends on what you want out of your pre-workout. So there's pre-workouts that are very stimulant based, and there's pre-workouts that are very pump based or a nitric oxide booster. So it depends. If you want stimulants, obviously look for the caffeine in there, and there's lots of other dendrobium. There's a lot of stimulants. A lot of pre-workouts have different things. So look for whatever is the stimulant, and then always test your tolerance on that, because some things can really make people kind of tweaked out. Pump based, citrulline is a good one. Arginine is a good one. Drawing a blank. Taurine is a good ingredient. There's drawing blanks on names here. But if you are looking for more of a pump, make sure that whatever you have doesn't have very high stimulant, or if you're looking for high stimulant, make sure that the energy portion of that is, and also look for transparency on the label. If you go and look on a pre-workout label and you see that this is just a blend and it doesn't tell you how much of everything is in there, maybe kind of stay away from it. Look for transparency. Make sure they're showing you how much of everything is in there, just so that you're aware of it.
So moving into your diet, do you intermittent fast? And if not, what are your thoughts on it?
I like intermittent fasting. I don't do it myself. I think it works better for certain body types than it does others. I have a very high caloric intake that I need to do each day, and so me trying to squeeze all that into just an 8-hour feeding window isn't really feasible for me. So I don't do it myself. If I didn't have to eat as much as I did, I eat anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 calories depending on what I'm trying to do. So an 8-hour feeding window for me really isn't ideal. But I do have clients on it, and I know tons of people that do it. I think the benefits of it are very important. And so if you're trying to cut especially, I think it's a great tactic to try. All right, so we're gonna move on to the last one. We're gonna do rear delt flies, so focus on the rear delts here. And this is a drop set, so we're gonna go 10 reps a little bit heavier, and then we're gonna drop the weight and go right into 20 reps of the same movement. So cables across from each other. And we're pulling apart. Reps. Drop the weight.
When it comes to your overall diet, what's most important? The type of diet and the things that I have to take in or out, or just overall calories?
I never count overall calories. I'm more of a macro-based guy, so your proteins, your fats, your carbs. And I think as far as if any diet goes, I think what you need to concern yourself with is the macros and what numbers those are at there. Yes, calories in versus calories out plays a part, but there's tons of different ways that different macros will change your body. So I would focus on that. You're gonna get your calories regardless, but definitely focus on the macros. Focused on eating quality foods that are gonna make you feel better inside out. If you're eating junk, yes, you can hit your macros with it. Yes, you can still receive results when you're eating junk, but it does affect your body in other ways. So just make sure you're eating good quality foods and track your macros.
We have a question from Twitch. What's the best way to stay ripped and gain weight without actually gaining fat?
I think it's a good question. It's lift intense, lift heavy, lift intense, have good form first and foremost. Don't go crazy with the heavy weights, but relatively heavy. Lift intense year round. Build. The best way I can say that is to get yourself lean enough to where you want to be, and then reverse diet yourself back out of it. So when I say reverse diet, that means gradually add calories and macros back in, and do it at a slow pace so that you are gaining weight without gaining the fat. A lot of people get really lean, and then they just go and they binge eat whatever, and they put a bunch of size on, but they also put a bunch of fat on. So reverse diet, gradually add back in food, still stay pretty strict with what you're adding back in and the amounts. Keep lifting. You might want to knock cardio down to maybe like 2 times a week. Just do some high intensity stuff will help keep you lean. But then just gradually add back in calories so that you can start putting size back on without putting on the fat.
Is there a reason you're ending with rear delt flies?
I love rear delts is my favorite area to work on with my shoulders. So I started with some rear delts in that Triset, and then I usually like to end with some rear delts as well, just because I like it. You can add those at any point in time during the workout. No specific reason I'm ending with them. I just really like them, so I like to end on doing some rear delts. Okay, I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see a different angle this time.
I noticed that you're not using any attachments for the cable rear delts. Why? And is it better to do without or with attachments?
I like palms down when I feel it better when I do palms down on rear delts. A lot of people like to have the handles and pull this way. I feel it better when I just have my palms down, so it's easy just to grab the attachment and do it that way. But whatever feels best for you, do it that way. So if it feels better for you to have handles here and pull like this, by all means do it that way.
Somebody's really loving your traps. Do you work out your traps on their own, on shoulder day, back day? What's the best way to grow your traps?
If we're talking traps like shrugs, I literally never do those. All the trap work I get is on back day, and that's simply just any kind of rowing motion there, really working on the upper back. So bent over rows, pulling elbows high is gonna hit those traps, but shrugs I never do.
Back to your diet a little bit. What do you think about keto lifestyle and bodybuilding?
Keto, I do keto on and off. I usually do keto if I'm cutting down for photo shoots or anything like that. I'll just kind of go to keto. It's very easy to do. It's a very easy lifestyle to kind of adjust to. And it's definitely different, but you get cheese and bacon, and who doesn't like all that? So I like keto. I have clients on keto. There's a ton of health benefits to keto. So if you're interested, definitely look into it. Give it a try. See if it works for you. If you have more questions on it, please feel free to reach out to me. I do that on and off throughout the year. So, okay, we're gonna go one more set of these. Dying out. Ooh. Can't get any more full ones. If you can't get any more full ones, just try to pump out what you can. Get the last little bit out of them. That's all I got. Spent on that.
Somebody's really loving the man bun. Does it give you special powers?
Yes, of course it gives you special powers. If you don't have one, grow one. It'll change your life. Unless you can't grow one, then they sell them on Groupon.
Somebody's a fan of rack pulls, but they want to know, does it really work your traps or your lower back?
Rack pulls, ideally they work both. And it kind of depends on the motion that you use, that you do with your back while you're doing a rack pull. So if I'm doing a rack pull and I pull up but I keep my shoulders forward, then you're gonna get a lot of lower back, because that's really all that's working. What I like to do with rack pulls is when you pull here, your first motion isn't just trying to extend your back here. Your first motion should be pulling shoulders back here and then extending. That way you get everything from top to bottom on your back.
I've heard a lot of different things about cardio, whether it be in the morning, fasted, right after my workout, before my workout. What gives you the best results?
Personally, fasted cardio gets me the best results. So I'll wake up in the morning and kind of depending on what I'm feeling that day, I do a mix of HIIT and low intensity, just steady state. I say if I'm trying to cut down, then I will do more steady state fasted, so 30, 40 minutes on the Stairmaster at a moderate pace. I try to keep my heart rate between 125 and 135 throughout that time frame. That works really well for me when I'm cutting down. When I'm focused on putting size on, I'll focus more on high intensity intervals because it kind of keeps me lean as I'm trying to put size on. So 15, 20 minutes of a high intensity sprints or something like that keeps me lean while I'm trying to grow.
During the winter, I've been sick a lot. Is it okay to work out when I'm sick, or should I just rest?
Depends on what kind of sick you are. There's a lot of times if I'm sick and I work out, I end up making myself worse. So if you're just a little stuffy or something, go ahead and work out. If you have like an actual cold or a virus or something like that, probably best to just lay low, let your body recover. Best not to put any more stress on your central nervous system and everything that's going on. So let your body rest and then get back to it.
How much can you bench?
So since I had my shoulder surgery in 2013, I have not maxed out on bench since then. I know with dumbbells, I'll go up to the hundreds, 120s. For dumbbells, I don't have heavier dumbbells than that, so I don't know what I can do without that. Barbell bench, I haven't really gone much over 225 on that. Just for shoulder's sake, so yeah.
I'm loving all of the content and love your man bun. Where can I find you on all of the social channels?
So Instagram, you can find me at tholt21, THOLT21. Facebook, I'm on Tyler Holt. YouTube, you can search Tyler Holt. And that's pretty much why I'm on Snapchat too, which you can get that off my Instagram. But go look for me on there. I'm always putting out content, always happy to answer questions on my social media platforms. So any advice, questions, whatever you guys need from me, I'm at your dispense. So that wraps up today's shoulder workout. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm gonna be here filming some good content for you guys here at the BBCom headquarters. So be on the lookout for that. Go follow me on all my social media. If you haven't done my 1,000 rep arm workout on Bodybuilding.com, go search that right now and do it today because it's amazing. And I've got my other 1,000 rep workouts on all my social media, so go check me out, show it some love. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the questions. If you have any more, always feel free to reach out to me, and hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for following.